Apps can do a lot of cool things. You could order dinner, gamble on your favorite team, and track your health. You could even get a mortgage. One click and you can be approved. I'm not sure by who or what country they're in. You deserve more from the mortgage industry. At AnyMac Home Mortgage, we believe in the need for live human interaction during a very complex process. The kind of service and guidance which an app simply can't provide. Our customers are more than credit scores and income documents. They're individuals and families who live in and strengthen our communities. Their story is our story, and that story begins in a home. Chris Sawyer is an expert on providing superior customer service and in meeting the mortgage needs of current and future home buyers. With over 18 years of experience in the industry, Chris is able to help customers migrate through the home buying and home financing process by using his wealth of knowledge as a well-qualified mortgage professional. And best of all, Chris is located in Cromwell, Connecticut, where he has helped hundreds of clients in Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island make their dreams of home ownership a reality. Visit chrissawyer.any-mac.com. Email him at csawyer@any-mac.com or give him a call, 860-878-8730.
Chris Sawyer, NMLS number 39345, corporate NMLS number 338923, AnyMac Home Mortgage, an equal housing lender, American Neighborhood Mortgage Acceptance Company, LLC, DBA AnyMac Home Mortgage, LoFi Direct, Connecticut First Mortgage Correspondent, License Lender, Broker Number ML 338923, Massachusetts Mortgage Lender and Mortgage Broker License Number MC 338923, Rhode Island License Lender, License Number 201128110L. Call for additional details.
Throwing jabs, always full send. Here we go again. Jared, Joe, and Jay's Clover Crest, top three corner man, punching in with a puncher's chance. We find a way to win. The main event, lock it in every Saturday at 10. The overhand is out of hand when it comes to fisticuffs. Slide a hand on the undercard, you'll never see the punch. Uppercut got you missing weight, feet are stepping late. Keep your guard up, feeling faint from a feint. Take a stand and eight, then retaliate. Put up your duke, stick and move, bob and weave. Don't lose hope against the ropes, there's always an escape. Never stay down. One more round, bells ringing, counter punch with your chin tucked and go down swinging. We bringing crosses with no worship, hooks with no verses, combinations with no locks. When you feel the flurry, it's curtains. From scrub scraps to fight stats, relax if you want the facts, cause the best combat podcast is Throwing Jabs.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Throwing Jabs Combat Sports Podcast. I'm Big Jace, running solo today, so it's going to be a quick one. This is going to be the one you go in to watch the fights with your friends. Send them this quick video. Give them a rundown. It should be really quick. Get a little brushed up on the fights to come. And we got a big boxing heavyweight fight. Tyson Fury returning to the ring. But first, let's talk about the UFC fight night between Stephen Wonderboy Thompson and Kevin Holland. And I'm going to break it down for you. Starting off, the 6th ranked welterweight Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, 16-6-1 with 7 knockouts and 1 submission. He's 6 foot with a 75-inch reach. Right now, he's on a 2-fight skid, unanimous decision against Bilal Muhammad in December of last year, 2021. And he also lost a unanimous decision to Gilbert Burns in July 2021. But before that, he was on a 2-fight win streak, both unanimous decisions over Jeff Neal in 2022 and Vicente Luque in 2019. And, I mean, this man has fought. He's a legend of the sport, a legend of the welterweight division. He's fought. I mean, he had that second-round KO loss to Anthony Pettis in a great fight in 2019. I believe that was the Superman punch off the cage. And then you have the unanimous decision loss to Darren Till in 2018. I believe that was in Liverpool. Him just going to Darren Till's homeland, fighting, and that was a good fight as well. His last real noticeable win, unanimous decision over Jorge Masvidal, is a real big name there. The only real name he's really won. Did he have a unanimous decision over Roy McDonald in 2016? Obviously, the Tyron Woodley fights. Those were great fights to watch. Go back, watch those. Those are always fun. Also, way back in 2014, he did have a first-round TKO of Robert Whitaker. And granted, that was welterweight Robert Whitaker. It's not the same as middleweight. But, yeah, well, I mean, that karate style, it's always a tough puzzle to crack. I'm excited to see him get back to the ring, get back in the octagon after a year off. I mean, age is getting to him, but we'll see. And I mean, speaking of Robert Whitaker being moving from welterweight to middleweight, Kevin Holland moving from middleweight to welterweight. Kevin Holland obviously was a main eventer while at middleweight. He had those big the big main event fights with Marvin Vettori and Derek Brunson in 2021, both losses. But he has looked good, Kevin Holland, since moving to welterweight. I do got to mention Kevin Holland, 23-8 with 13 knockouts and 6 submissions. He's 6'3" with an 81-inch reach, unranked in the welterweight division, but he is 2-0 at welterweight. He did have a second-round submission of Tim Means and second-round TKO of the Brazilian cowboy, Alex Oliveira. But in his last fight, he did lose via first-round submission to Khamzat Chimaev at 180. I mean, last minute due to Khamzat losing weight. Missing weight. So I like what Kevin Holland's doing here at welterweight. I think he's found a little bit of a new home for himself, and this is where you really get in the rankings. I mean, Tim Means, Alex Oliveira, like those are some great names. Those are some great journeymen. But a guy like Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, a legend in the welterweight division, this is going to be your stamp for Kevin Holland. This is where you got to really emerge yourself as a contender. And, I mean, there's so much going on in this welterweight division, especially if Leon Edwards can hold on to the belt. There's so many opportunities. And Kevin Holland can be another opportunity, even if, say, Usman wins the belt back or whatever. Kevin Holland coming in, that would be a great new name for Usman to go up against. So I think he is a needed jolt in this welterweight division, a new face, new name to get acclimated, and I think he does have the potential to do it. If he can, I think I hate to say this, I love Wonderboy so much. He's on the decline, brother. Like I think go be an analyst. He does good podcasting as well. He's a great personality. I think if you lose this fight, you might have to start looking elsewhere. But who knows? I mean, that karate style, it's always a tough puzzle to crack. So I mean, but the hype for Wonderboy, I don't see him getting back to the title. I see him staying as like a gatekeeper, and I don't know if that's really what he wants. Yeah, I expect Kevin Holland to be that new breath of fresh air to this welterweight division. If he can start finishing some people, I think he moves up the rankings really quick. But just being able to, I mean, he's done his last 2 fights. I mean, granted, Tim Means, Cowboy Oliveira, and anything big, and I mean, we can throw away that Khamzat fight, that Chimaev fight, because the last minute 180. I mean, it was a great fight. I mean, and look at him, look at Holland being willing to step in. He was a joke at middleweight. We've made fun of him so much on this show, not being able to wrestle. He has those 6 submissions, looking lost on the ground, but at times. But he's picked it up. I think welterweight's his new home, and I think he can at least get back in that main event picture like he was in the middleweight division. A couple fight nights here and there. Will he get to maybe get to a title? I don't think he wins the belt. But yeah, I do see a little avenue for Kevin Holland to find some success here. And I think Wonderboy is a good notch to have in your belt. Because granted, Wonderboy is a legend of the welterweight division. All right, enough with that fight. It should be a good one. UFC is always a good one. Also, Barberena versus Dos Anjos, the co-main event. That's going to be a fun one. This is a solid UFC card. But boy, with the fight I'm most excited for, we're gonna get into right now. You know me, I love my heavyweights, and also I love Tyson Fury. First, a big boxing match. Tyson Fury coming back. Third fight with Derek Chisora. Derek Chisora, 33-12 with 23 knockouts. He's 6'1.5" with a 74-inch reach. His last fight, split decision with Kubrat Pulev in 2022, but he did avenging a split decision loss in 2016 to Pulev. Before that, 0-2 against Joseph Parker in 2021, a unanimous and split decision. He lost a unanimous decision to Alexander Usyk in 2020. 0-2 against Dillian White. Was KO'd in the 11th round in 2018. Split decision loss in 2016. The two prior fights to Tyson Fury. 0-2. Corner retirement in the 10th, and no Moss in the 10th round in 2014, and a unanimous decision in 2011. 2011, can you believe that? He also fought Vitaly Klitschko and lost unanimous decision in 2012. This man's been around the block. Fought Tyson Fury is back as far as 2011. Is he going to be able to redeem himself, or is he going to fall 0-3 to possibly one of the greatest heavyweight to ever do it? Tyson Fury, 32-0-1 with 23 knockouts, 6'9" with an 85-inch reach. Last fight, he TKO'd Dillian White in 2022, April, earlier this year. Began his lineal heavyweight championship reign in November 2015 by defeating Vladimir Klitschko via unanimous decision, after which he retired or took hiatus for 3 years. And we'll talk about those 3 years in the flurry coming up. But after a couple tune-up fights, Tyson Fury reclaimed the center stage of the boxing's heavyweight division, as in December 2018, Fury and Deontay Wilder put on an instant classic in a 12-round split draw. Obviously, the big Undertaker memes. Tyson Fury hitting the mat, coming up there in that last round, and then he comes back and he puts a flurry on Deontay Wilder. You go back, rewatch this fight, even if you haven't seen it before, even if you have seen it before, go back. That's a great fight, but he didn't stop there. Then after tune-up fights here and there as well, Tyson Fury defended the lineal title twice more in 2 great fights with Wilder, and he also gained the WBC heavyweight title along the way. Tyson Fury, great boxer, great fighter. I expect him to get it done. He knows Chisora already. Chisora, great journeyman. But Tyson Fury, like, when you're that big and you have as much skill as him, like, no one's beating it. It sucks that this isn't a Usyk fight. That would have been really, really fun. But I think Fury, I mentioned all the tune-up fights, all the tomato can fights, going through my little breakdown there. But, I mean, that's what is keeping him at the top of the game. All these fighters, like, sitting back, waiting for the big fights. Guys like Deontay Wilder, think about him versus the Anthony Joshua days when they were trying to get that fight going. Like, that's not what makes you great. What makes you great is the reps, getting in the ring. Now, while that might wear you down, unless you're Tyson Fury, when you're as great and you don't take the punishment. I mean, granted, the Wilder fights, he did take punishment. But other than that, who else has Tyson Fury really taken punishment against in this era of boxing? So, yeah, I think, just keep it going. Granted, I mean, people want to say you don't want to turn into a Lomachenko and have that Teofimo Lopez deal, but I mean, you're not going up in weight if you're Tyson Fury. You're the biggest. No, you're not going to get anyone bigger than you. So yeah, just keep your craft going. Sharpen your tools. Make sure you're ready, because eventually that Usyk fight is going to come, and boy, oh boy, is it going to be fun. All right, that's going to do it for fights this week. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. Make sure you check out clovercrestmedia.com for a bunch of other information about this podcast and a bunch of other great podcasts. Football fans, there's All Four Downs, or All Four Downs and NFL Pick'em. John about the G-Men, my Giants football podcast, Keys to the City. Bunch of great sports shows, Sports Talk with R&J, so make sure you check those out. Also, if you don't like sports, I don't know why you're watching this, or if just to prep for the fight. There is also a bunch of great true crime shows, some political shows as well. We just are working with CT Politics TV, so that's a fun thing that Clovercrest is doing. So a bunch of different avenues for you to check out. Make sure you check out www.clovercrestmedia.com and make sure you follow Throwing Jabs on Twitter at Throwing Jabs. Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube, Throwing Jabs Podcast on YouTube and Throwing Jabs Podcast on Facebook. Make sure you like us there. Make sure you download us on any podcast platform. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast, make sure you download and subscribe to Throwing Jabs. And make sure, little self-insert here, follow me on Twitter, Big Jace the Ace as well. And we're going to end the show like we always do. No Jared today, but I'm going to hit you with the flurry about Fury. Now, every time Tyson Fury's fight comes up, I have to bring up this story. I think I'm going to end it here. I mean, I'll probably bring it up the next time. But Tyson Fury, we talked about that. I mentioned earlier the 3 years off after he won the lineal belt, beating Vladimir Klitschko. Didn't really have any. I mean, the boxing's heavyweight division wasn't as big as it was then. I mean, boxing was really down bad, especially with heavyweights. That was a period of time, like especially in America. I mean, we as Americans, people couldn't name the heavyweight champion of the world, and that's something that hasn't happened in a while. Like boxing and heavyweight champions, like America has dominated. And Tyson Fury beats Klitschko, rides off into the sunset, still leaving boxing up in the air. Then you have this Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder back and forth. Nothing ever gets going. And while that really like brought back up heavyweight boxing and to the center stage, to the main spotlight. Tyson Fury, I'm sorry. Tyson Fury was dealing with some stuff. A lot of substance abuse issues, ballooned up to over 400 pounds during his hiatus, and dealing with a lot of mental health issues, as I'm sure everyone's been there. And it was just so much so he talks about it on the Joe Rogan podcast interview with him. If you haven't seen that, I suggest you check that out. But he's driving his Lamborghini down the highway, just speeding really, really fast, debating whether or not he should just pull off and just crash it and die and kill himself. And that's how dark and scary of a place he was in. But then he was scrolling through Instagram, scrolling through, I believe it was Instagram. And it was during the Joshua Wilder back and forth when people thought they were going to get a fight out of that, and they didn't. And Tyson Fury saw Deontay Wilder mention, call himself boxing's new Mike Tyson. Tyson Fury being born of a boxing family. The name Tyson, him being named, he was named after Mike Tyson. Tyson Fury was. So he took that to heart. He was disrespected by that because he did not see Deontay Wilder as the next Mike Tyson, as another Mike Tyson. So being over 400 pounds, I think in that podcast with Joe Rogan, he talks about doing cocaine. And he used that, despite all this stuff, he used that one thing from Deontay Wilder to get motivated, to get back up, and from being down and crawl out from rock bottom. And then after a couple tune-up fights, he obviously has that that killer fight with Deontay Wilder that really brings boxing's heavy. That was the big thing on ESPN and all the other sports talk shows. The next day, heavyweight boxing is back, and it was because of that draw. And when does that ever happen? A draw. People hate draws, unless you're the United States against England in the World Cup, or that fight. Like, the draw was there, and people saw it. And I mean, I talk about that mental health stuff with Fury. That last round when Deontay Wilder hit him with his best punch, knocked him out, and as the ref's counting, Fury just gets up like the Undertaker, just springs up, gets up. Bro, like, I've talked about it before on this show. He got hit with Deontay Wilder's best punch. Best punch. The hardest hitter in boxing right now. Got hit with his best punch. But that wasn't the worst. Like, he's been to rock bottom. He knows what it's like to be at the bottom. And that wasn't it. He's gotten up from worse. He's gotten here. So much can go wrong here, but with your body. But here, this is what really keeps you sharp. He was knocked out. He was down, out for the count up here, and he got up. So when he's down, out for the count, body-wise, his mind is pushing him. We've done this before. We've done it worse. And that's really the message I want to get across. I mean, I've had struggles, been to the hospital twice, in a psych ward. I deal with mental health issues all the time. Been homeless. I've dealt with depression. And this story has just resonated with me so much. So that's why I want to share it with you guys. No matter how bad it is, you can always get back up. No matter whether the ref is at a 3 count or he's at the 6, the 7, whether it's later in the count, you can always get back up. You can always keep fighting. Because Tyson Fury did it. Tyson Fury didn't just do it in the ring. He did it in his life. And that helped him find success. And I'm working towards that path right now. And I hope other people can find that path as well. Thank you guys for watching and listening. We'll see you next week for more Throwing Jabs. Peace out.
Throwing jabs, always full send. Here we go again. Jared, Joe, and Jay's Clover Crest, top 3 corner man, punching in with a puncher's chance. We find a way to win. The main event, lock it in every Saturday at 10. The overhand is out of hand when it comes to fisticuffs. Slide a hand on the undercard, you'll never see the punch. Uppercut, got you missing weight, feet are stepping late. Keep your guard up, feeling faint from a feint. Take a stand and eight, then retaliate. Put up your duke, stick and move, bob and weave. Don't lose hope against the ropes, there's always an escape. Never stay down. One more round, bells ringing, counter punch with your chin tucked and go down swinging. We bringing crosses with no worship, hooks with no verses, combinations with no locks. When you feel the flurry, it's curtains. From scrub scraps to fight stats, relax if you want the facts, cause the best combat podcast is Throwing Jabs.
Hello, my name is Joe Aguirre. I'm the president of Clovercrest Media Group. And here at CMG, we have a wide variety of podcasts, including sports shows like Keys to the City, The Roll Call, Throwing Jabs, All 4 Downs, and Jawing About the G-Men. And great true crime shows like Sticky Week, Crimes and Consequences, Ivy League Murders, and Bird, the unsolved murder of David Eichmann. You can find all these podcasts and so much more by visiting clovercrestmedia.com.